So much of an aspect of our life is about the validation of self. So when we can look at something that is so obviously wrong, we can be so obviously right, which gives us a place to validate self in this complex world where we're afraid of not having validation in our community. Does everybody get that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is we actually thrive. We get this hit of internal glee or gratification when something is obviously wrong because we can be obviously right and it's inarguable.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the pitfall of stepping into this world, is to be even more right about what's wrong, but that isn't the path of enlightenment. It's a place of no judgment. So first of all, is to actually you begin to see what's the source of the attachment. See that if you're willing to let go, what's behind the attachment. I'm not saying in this case what it is. I'm saying it's just a common one that would be behind something like that, right? The other thing behind an attachment is a protection from risk, because it's with an attachment that you don't have to do anything that might be risky about the situation, in this kind of situation. You know, here's an interesting thing about, you could look at it, well, let's look at money. Many years ago, about 10 years ago, I was delivering a seminar around money. It was an exercise in it about transforming your relationship to money. I always do the work on myself before I deliver, and always was open. And the exercise was, look at your story about money. Great. Look at the fact you have about money. Look at the absolute truth you have about it. That's like physical almost in its solidity. And just keep meditating upon it until you can see that it's where the story of it is, and it, and you can separate from it. I've been pretty free around money for some time. I'm like, I don't know, whatever, it seems, but I'll do the work, and I always do it. And I can take every single time. I can always find it, usually within an hour, sometimes minutes. Oh yeah, I can see what I mean. That's not real. But I had this thing where, wait a minute, something that seems solid to me was more money, more difference. Like you, if money was put here, like if I made more money, I could make more difference in the world. I could do this, I could feed people. How is, like, I looked at it from all these different angles, and I could not see anything other than that's just like physics, like gravity. There's no story. It's just simply true that if you had more money, you could make more of an impact, right? Hard to see the fallacy in that. So I stayed with a couple of days on it, the longest I ever had, and then I couldn't see it, and I started to look from different angles, which is, okay, let's just not look at money, let's look at making a difference. Let's look historically, who made the most difference? Okay, it's Gandhi, right? Or Martin Luther King, or Nelson Mandela, or, these names. What's common about all of them?
Well, for one, I would say that it was their time.
Sure. And how much money did any of them have?
It was varying for a lot of them, but and they all made it broke at one point.
Well, here's the deal. Neither of them had any significant amount of money, right? Gandhi didn't even have a wardrobe. But having money had nothing to do with what they accomplished. Is that clear, everyone?
Yep.
So what was it? It was the constitution of self as the outcome. So Bill Gates is a cool guy, well-meaning, and he's put $40 billion towards contribution making a difference. But how come he doesn't show up like Gandhi? Because he hasn't said, this shall be and my ashes on the line. I'm for it. It's like a cheering squad in the game, but they're not in the game. They're for my team winning, but they're not on the field accountable for the game winning.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're in a real conversation of causality, about if money this, if money that, then there's some way we're not having to step up and say, screw it, I'm going to make it happen.